Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. Yes, it's me, William Caulfield, the travelling comic, embarking on another voyage and of course bringing you with me. Those of you that follow my channel may well recognise this cabin. Yes, I'm back on board the majestic Queen Mary 2, about to do another transatlantic crossing. The last time I did a transatlantic crossing and brought you with me, I started in New York and came across to Southampton. I had family and friends with me, if you remember. This time, well, I'm back to travelling alone and doing the job that I love to do, which is, of course, I'm a comedian when I'm on board. And this time I'm travelling from Southampton over to New York. If you fancy being with me for the next number of days at sea and then getting a quick glimpse around New York before I fly home, well, you know what to do. Keep watching. The process to get on board in Southampton here is it's honed to perfection. They know what they're doing. You arrive at the terminal and then you get checked in, and I'm going to put up these next clips. I'm going to tell you what the next clips are. Then you queue up, of course. I was in the priority queue. Well, of course I was. I'm a guest entertainer. And you leave the check-in area and then you join the ship. Queen Mary 2 is looking very festive, and indeed in the queue outside to get into the ship, and again the little clip that I have of the crew, they were handing out mulled wine. On the ship, well, it's been decked for Christmas. I went straight to the pub, of course, for my lunch. That clip will come, and then there was festive music in the grand lobby. Everything set for having a good Christmas voyage across to New York. Anyway, fellow guest entertainers, I have not yet got the list, but I do know that my very good friend Peter Howarth is on board. Now, Peter is the lead singer with the Hollies, and at some time during this week, I'll get a chat with Peter in front of the camera for you. This is Monday. My first show is scheduled for Friday. So I have a lot of time to relax and enjoy myself until I do my first show on Friday. I will, of course, bring you backstage to the sound check and backstage before the show. Okay, that's enough for now. They've left me a big bottle of bubbly. Unfortunately, I don't drink. Maybe Peter Howarth does. If he does, he'll get that. Anyway, I'll chat to you later on tonight. Good morning, and the sun is streaming in through the porthole, although I would judge it's not that overly warm out there. It's a bit bumpy this morning, which means, of course, I'm on high alert. Now, what I mean by that is very simple. I'm not scheduled, as you know, as I've told you, to do my first show until Friday. Tonight, the show is Rhythm of the Night by the cast, singers and dancers. But if it gets too bumpy and rough at sea, sometimes for safety reasons, they can't perform. And always on an occasion like that, the phone rings and it's, William, you're on. So, the back of my mind, I'm performing tonight. I'm not supposed to be. The back of my mind, I'm getting ready just in case I do. Speaking about performing, I went to see the show last night, my fellow guest entertainers, and they were absolutely fabulous. Two guys that played I don't know how many different instruments and sang, and it was really great. And I'll put up a little clip of that for you. Now, I have to be very careful, because if I put up too much of someone singing, well, YouTube will hit me. Yeah, they'll strike the video with a copyright, and what they can do is either delete that whole scene, or they'll change the sound of the music. So I'm hoping I'll get away with it So if the little snippets are short, that's the reason why. Anyway, I do intend to go for a walk outside today. I need to get fresh air. And if I do that, or well, not if, when I do that, I'll take you with me. I'll just go around the deck. I'll do it on a high speed rather than you spending the whole time watching me walking around a boring walk around the deck. I'll speed it up for you. And also, if I get a chance today, or if I'm in the mood today, I'll get some of the festive decorations that's on board Queen Mary too. Anyway, it's a sea day. There's loads of stuff happening. The clocks went back an hour last night. They'll go back again an hour tonight. I'm not going to go through all of this with you. It's all there. Not that you can see it, but from previous videos you know there's something on from early morning to late at night. Okay, that's enough for me from now. Chat to you later, wherever I am. Well, it's blowy. Quite a bit of swell on the sea. So much so that the captain actually altered course a little so that it would be more pleasant for us. And I'll be honest, for the first time in a long time, I was feeling a wee bit queasy this morning. But anyway, let's get a bit of fresh air. We'll go around the deck here in the Queen Mary 2. And I'll do it at a speeded up version for you. Okay, here we go. I hope you enjoyed that. I stopped where I did because here, well, you can see the no entry sign. The guys are doing a bit of painting. Now, that doesn't mean that I can't go right round, because I can go out past the what's known as the captain's cufflinks and then come back in the other side. And so that's the best way to do it, and that's the way I'll do it. I don't know if you heard somebody talking to me there. I should have had to ignore her. She's going to go past me now. Because she came in and she went, "Oh, what? Do you just have to walk backwards and forwards?" I went, "No, you go out, back in the other way." So I'll actually show you the way you go now, which will bring us right to where I started. Okay, hold on. So out here, past these, those of you that watch all my videos will know these are what's known as the captain's cufflinks. They're actually spare parts for the propellers. And so the bit that you can't get past is just in there where those guys are. See the legs of the painters? Oh, that lady's attitude. I'll say nothing about it in case she's watching. Imagine that. Then you go back in here, okay? And this is the very spot where I started from. I'm going to do a few circuits around the deck, because I'll be honest, the fresh air is doing me good. And then I intend meeting up with Peter Howarth. Peter is the other guest entertainer that I was telling you about, the lead singer of the Hollies. He's actually on board with his lovely wife Sarah, who I met last night for the first time. We went and had a chat up and a catch up after the theatre show. And yeah, so I'm going to do dinner with them tonight, and Peter's show's tomorrow night. And I will get him on and have a chat with us on camera. Okay. I'll head on round here again and chat to you later. Little boy blue here. Now, speak of the devil, Peter and Sarah.
Here we are.
I was telling these lovely people that your show's tomorrow night. We're doing dinner tonight and all that.
Yeah.
But I want to do an interview with you and chat to you about your career. which I'm sure you'll be delighted to talk to me about it sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. I love talking about myself, yeah.
Yeah, I knew you would enjoy that. Tell me this, how are you feeling today?
Good.
I felt rough this morning.
Did you?
I was a wee bit and
Really?
I haven't been for years.
I didn't feel any movement at all.
I think it's. I like
I
the
think the
movement.
problem is I went to bed sober.
This
Could
is
be.
it.
That's where I'm
Rookie
making the
error.
mistake.
Rookie error. Yeah, we've got to go speak to an accountant.
Yeah, that was fine. Well, I couldn't resist a little scone and cream this afternoon after I'd done my circuits. Anyway, the afternoon has passed. It's evening time now, and I'm heading up to the Commodore to meet Peter and Sarah for pre-dinner drinks, and then into the restaurant, and then into the show. I don't know if they'll go to the show, but I'm certainly going to the show. It's the cast tonight, and as I've said earlier, if I do video it, it'll be very, very little because of the strikes that YouTube are now doing on my videos if there's music that they recognise that I obviously don't have copyright for. So I might just take still images of it. But anyway, let's have a wonderful night on board the Queen Mary 2. And a wonderful time indeed was had last night on Queen Mary 2. We went and had a lovely dinner in the restaurant, and then we went to the show, and you've just seen some still pictures from that show. I then went for a wander around Queen Mary 2 just to take in some of the Christmas decorations for you in the lobby and down into the Queen's room. Then when I was coming out of the Queen's room, and I'm going to save this little clip for after I've talked, I met Maggie. Who is Maggie? Well, Maggie is a little assistance dog. On the Queen Mary 2, one of the unique things about the Queen Mary 2 is there are kennels on board, and you can bring your dogs. They stay in the kennels, you go up and see them during the day, and I've covered that on numerous times when I've been on the Queen Mary 2. But also people do have assistance dogs, and I don't just necessarily mean guide dogs, and I think there is a guide dog on, but this little Maggie that I met, obviously it's a dog, I've given that away already, but this little Maggie, I don't know what she does, but I know she gave me a little kiss, and it was really important to me because just a couple of weeks ago, I haven't mentioned this on YouTube, I had to say goodbye to one of my dogs, to Willow, who was about 12 and a half years of age. I had to put her to sleep, and well, the pain is still real, and the heartbreak is still raw, and it was just nice to stroke the little dog and get a little kiss from Maggie. She'll come on after I do all this talking. Anyway, today's a very, very busy day. Not because there's loads of stuff on. There's loads of stuff on all the time, but there's loads of stuff on that I want to go and see. And the first thing that I'm going to see is at 12:15 in Illuminations, which is also, it's a lecture theatre, but it's also the planetarium, the only planetarium at sea. It's on the Queen Mary 2. And Linda Sage is doing her talks. Now, I met Linda probably last year on Arcadia, and Linda is, she deals with violent serial killers. She in prison as a psychologist, I think, or a psychiatrist, and she has met Myra Hindley, Ian Brady, Fred and Rose West, and the killers of little Jimmy Bulger, and she gives talks about her dealings with those people. Fascinating insights, and she's a lovely lady. So I'm really looking for. I didn't know until till yesterday that she was on board. So I'm definitely going to that. Then a unique thing that I'm going to at 3 o'clock is there is a drama group on board. Well, not a drama group. There's two. There's a guy and a girl, and he is doing a one-man play, A Christmas Carol, and he is performing 17 different characters himself. Well, obviously, that pulls at my heartstrings because, as you know, well, you don't, some of you don't know, but I used to do a show where I played about 17 or 18 different characters. And years ago, I did star as Scrooge in A Christmas Carol in the Ardone Theatre in Enniskillen. So that's a one-man show at 3 o'clock. I'm going to see that. And then, of course, well, look at the front of this programme. Is there anything happening tonight? Yeah. Peter Hart is doing his 2 shows tonight at 8:15 and 10:15. So there's 3 things that I'm definitely going to go to today. If I think of anything else when I'm around the ship, well, I'll show you. Incidentally, it's raining and the sea state is rough, but I have gained my sea legs. I don't know what happened to me yesterday at all. It's very, very rare that I feel a little queasy. I wasn't actually sick as such. I just felt a wee bit bleh. That's a medical expression, by the way. Bleh. And I'm grand today. Anyway, what I'll show you now is the Christmas lights in the lobby and in the Queen's room, and then Maggie.
So cute too. But bigger.
Look at that girl.
I know. That's
What's her name?
Maggie.
Maggie.
Maggie. Hello, Maggie. You're on YouTube, Maggie.
Maggie's been everywhere.
Well, I have just come from the theatre from Peter's show, and it went really, really well, as naturally I anticipated it would do. It was the number 3 thing I think that I had on my list to do, but it ended up I had 4 things to do, because we're at sea and things happen at sea. I went to Linda's talk. I'll put up a little clip of Linda. It was lovely to meet her again, and she did a fabulous first talk. She has 3 more to do. Then I went to the matinee performance in the theatre of A Christmas Carol. Andrew did a phenomenal show. I took a little clip of the stage set before he started, which was very minimalistic, and then I forgot to actually film him or even take a picture of him, but I have sorted that out and taken a snap from the promotional material for him. But I did get a phone call then to tell me that I was actually having to perform tomorrow night, simply because a member of the cast has a bit of a sore throat. At this moment of time, that information came from a gentleman by the name of David Fox. Yes, the production manager who has just walked behind the camera and is trying to make me laugh at this present moment of time. But I'm not going to do that. You know Dave. Dave, I've shown you him. I always go to his office and he's never there during the day. And now I know why, because it's now 9:30 at night and he's gone into his office so that he works all through the night. Good to see you. But yeah, I got a message to say the cast couldn't perform tomorrow night, so I'm on. Which meant, of course, then that I had something else to do today, and that was I had to go and do the TV show with Amanda. And I put up a little clip of the studio being set up before the show was filmed, and then there's just a snap with me and Amanda at the end. But anyway, it was a fabulous day, even though I now know, okay, I have to work tomorrow. Am I certain? Yes, I am. There's the front of the Voyages. Tomorrow my plan is, of course, to go and see Linda's second talk, which is a dive into female killers. I have spoke to Peter's wife this evening. Peter was preparing to do the show, And this is her first, she's actually with him, but it's her first time on board Cunard. And I've said, well, you must do afternoon tea. So she's going to come, with Peter, of course, and me tomorrow. We'll do afternoon tea in the Queen's Room. That'll set me up for my show tomorrow night. So that's the plan for tomorrow. Do a show. Anyway, I'll chat to you then.
And once again, thank you all very much for your time. Have a wonderful rest of your voyage. Lots to do and see, and I will see you next time. Thank you.
Very distracting. Okay, so we can have all the stuff up though, so as soon as I introduce you, put that one on the table.
To have you back on board.
Delighted to be back on board
Yes,
for my
you've been very
last
busy.
voyage before Christmas. So yeah.
Will you be home for Christmas then?
I'll be home for Christmas, and then about the 27th I then fly and join Queen Anne for the new year.
Oh yes.
But I'm at home for Christmas. Yeah.
You've been keeping William very busy.
Yes, I've turned into a Cunard boy.
Yes, you
That's
have.
what I tell them.
A little bit about yourself, of course. You're from Northern Ireland.
Yeah, well, yes, I'm from Northern Ireland, and certainly when I was growing up, I had no aspirations whatsoever to be a comedian. It was the last thing on my mind.
The road is long.
Well, hello and welcome back to the outside world. I'm holding on to this cap because I think if I don't, it'll land up somewhere in the mid-Atlantic and I'll never see it again. In fact, I just will. Now, last night, very, very difficult night's sleep simply because we were in 10-metre swells. And the captain actually told us during his 12 o'clock midday briefing today that he had to slow the ship down and alter course slightly to try and let us have a comfortable night. The weather, is it low pressure? I think it is. It is now past, but it's just leaving residual swells behind it. So we're currently in, I think he said 4 or 5 metre swells. Which isn't too bad. The sun is shining, but the wind is blowing. But anyway, I'm going to clear the cobwebs. Went to see Linda's chat this morning, her lecture, and she's actually going to join Peter and Sarah and myself for afternoon tea. Then at 4:30 I'll have to do my sound check, and then it's showtime tonight. And hopefully the swell will get even less so that I'm not thrown about the stage when I'm on. But anyway, I'll show you the sea state here and then continue my circuits. And I hope you did see little Maggie the dog walking past. Okay, let's continue. I'm just pounding the deck here and I have bumped into these lovely people who watch the YouTube channel.
Oh,
We do.
we do that.
Oh, yes, we do.
What a star this man is.
And even though they have an English accent, tell the people where you live.
We live in Derry, and I have lived in Derry for 32 years. So yes, and this young man a little bit less.
I've only been there for 5 years, so I'm still definitely a blow-in.
And you haven't picked up the accent.
I haven't. No, it's terrible, isn't it? It's really, really bad. Really
Devon
bad.
born and bred.
How are you enjoying the sea?
Oh yes, it's fabulous. It's keeping us awake.
It was very bumpy last night, wasn't it?
Was
Oh
it
my
just?
There was
goodness.
one stage I thought I was going to fall out of bed.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
went real down into it. I went, oh, now weighing 33 stone. And then the next thing, oh, I'm as light as a kite.
It's a good way to lose weight.
It is,
But,
Instantly.
but anyway, it is what it is. And we're heading to New York. When you get there, what are you doing?
We are staying on, going to the Caribbean.
Oh,
and then
stop.
We are coming back, and then we get off and we spend 4 nights in New York.
In New York,
So
yeah.
it's been my first time, so.
This,
But
this,
before all
this,
that-
is, this is how the other half live, you know.
Yeah, indeed. Aren't we lucky? We're very fortunate. Especially
Yeah.
tonight, we'll be listening to this man
Yes,
entertaining us.
yes, you must watch him. He's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and he's not paying us any money for it. So.
None.
Well,
Yeah.
not yet.
So there you go. There's it officially from 2 subscribers. Subscribe to the channel. I don't know why they call it subscribe because it costs nothing.
No,
Exactly.
it doesn't.
You
It's
just
all free.
you just hit a button.
Yes.
Best
yes.
value you'll get.
You've never been in New York.
No, never.
This one,
No,
no.
first time. Yeah.
Are you getting up early in the morning to watch the sailing?
Oh yeah,
We
we
might
will.
do.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
I don't know because I did it a number of times. Although I was tempted to do it for YouTube, and then thought, no, I know what image I'll put up when I get to it. But definitely get up. I know it's about 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
but
no,
the
we'll do it.
sailing is worth it.
Do give us a knock, won't you?
Yes, just in case.
You'll up to seeing me? No, definitely not. Right, I'm away to continue my walk.
Yes,
Okay.
well,
I don't know
thank
why I
you.
brought a hat because I put it on and I thought, no, that's
It'll be
heading
gone.
to the Atlantic.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
So
Well,
there you
Go
go.
to the fishes.
Yeah.
Anyway, see you later tonight in the
Take
theatre.
care.
Thank you.
Okay,
All the
bye.
best. Cheers, buddy.
See you. Bye.
Lovely people. I keep bumping into them. They tell me that they watch the channel. So. I'll put up a little clip for you of me shooting, I'm not shooting anything, filming the bow of the ship, and you'll see, watch the horizon. That's all I'm saying, watch the horizon. And then multiply that by 2. That's what it was like last night. Anyway, that's enough. I've got to keep going. I'm going for afternoon tea. So I'm going to make sure I've burnt calories so that I can replenish them in the Queen's room at tea time. Well, I've just had a lovely afternoon tea with Peter, Linda and Peter's wife Sarah, and I'm heading now to do the sound check. Come with me. I'll just show you the theatre and the stage. Well, you're very welcome into the backstage dressing room before I go and do my show. I'm ready to do it. You maybe can hear some music in the background. I hope YouTube can't. That's just my pre-show music playing out in the auditorium. So, 8:15 and 10:15. Let's go, even though the ship is still rocking a little bit. Let's hope I have them rocking in the aisles with laughter. Well, I've reached the end of another day on board the majestic Queen Mary 2 as we make our passage towards New York. Because of the depression that's in the weather depression, the captain has done his very, very best to steer us on a course that means that the ship isn't rocking as bad as it has been doing. Now, I've been on the Queen Mary 2 many, many times, and this is the first time that I've really been on it when I've really noticed the motion of the ocean. He has gone further south than normal. to such an extent that normally when we pass by the site of the final resting place of the Titanic, it's usually about 90 or 100 miles away. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, it will be only 14 miles from where we are, as we make our way then heading back up to try and get back onto the normal course to bring us into New York. But anyway, I've had a relaxing morning on board the ship, actually reacquainting myself with the ship, and I've walked through the little alleyways and passages that are unique to this particular ship. That's the clips that are coming up next, and the ship is indeed looking very festive, as you have already seen. But today I found the gingerbread village, and there's a clip of that. I was talking to one of the chefs, and he was telling me that it took them about a week to bake the gingerbread, to then cut it into shape, and you'll see the result of that. And indeed, there's also a little Christmas tree has been delivered to everyone's cabin, and I'll show you that as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed those little clips. Now, I went then this afternoon to the Christmas Gothic Tales, the theatre company that's on board. You'll remember the other day they did the Christmas Carol. That was the guy that did it. The girl today did Christmas Gothic Tales, sort of ghost stories set in and around Christmas. I have a little clip of her. Enjoy.
White commonplace will act sedatively, and he determines to carry the spade to the toolhouse. Leaving the icy path, he walks up to the spade and attempts to draw it towards him, but it will not be moved. He, of course, attributes...
It's hard to beat a bit of drama on a ship. Then this evening I met up again with Peter and his wife and Linda, and we went to the restaurant, had dinner, and then we went to see my fellow guest entertainers again, the guys that were on, they're cleaning up the restaurant here, not the restaurant, the buffet. I'm up in the buffet recording this. The guys that were on the first night called Duo Yalba, two guys from Mexico that play all those many instruments, and they were doing their second show tonight. Well, we went to that. I just took a still photograph, I think, of them. I didn't want to record any of it, and I'll put that up now for you as well. So that's basically the roundup of today. I obviously didn't pay enough to get this studio to myself, but I love finding various places around the ship to do these little clips. Anyway, it's now bedtime. The clocks do not go back tonight, so this is just a 24-hour day. So far we've had 3 25-hour days. When you're making your way to New York, that's the way it is. When you're coming the other way, well, you lose an hour, but you usually lose that at midday. Anyway, enough waffle, and I'll chat to you tomorrow. Tomorrow Peter Harth's on again. Peter Howarth, yeah, Peter, he's on tomorrow night in the theatre. And then the next day will be the last day on board, and I know I'm performing. Yes, I have drawn the short straw, ladies and gentlemen. I'm on the last night. At this stage, I don't know where I am. I'm either doing one show in the Queen's Room or else 2 early shows in the theatre. I'll let you know what I'm doing when I know. Okay, that's enough for now. Well, good morning. That little image that I've just shown you there, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and I thought I'd be able to get out onto the open deck because of the location of the ship at the moment, which is 14 miles north. Or the wreck of the Titanic is 14 miles north of where we are at the present time, but it's raining, the decks are wet, and so they have them closed. But I just thought I would show you the waters here in the Atlantic. We're 14 miles out that way is the resting place of RMS Titanic. Now, my plans for the rest of today, well, I'm going at 10 o'clock to see Linda's third talk, or listen to Linda's third talk. I never went to university, but I have been to loads of lectures. So I think I have got my university education at sea. At 2 o'clock, a friend of mine, classical guitarist by the name of Tom Gamble, is on the ship, and I'll go and take a little snippet of that for you. And then at 5 o'clock, or maybe it's 5:15, the entertainment team and some of the crew are going to sing some Christmas carols for us in the lobby. And again, if I don't actually record them singing them, I'll take a picture, simply because YouTube now are clamping down on me because I've crossed, I think, a threshold of subscribers, and if I don't have the copyright of the songs, I'm not allowed to play them on YouTube, and rightly so. Then this evening it is Peter's final 2 shows, and I have nabbed him, I have done an interview with him, and I will put that up sometime, obviously, before the end of this video. But anyway, out there, Titanic. Well, I've done everything I said I would do. It's night time now. In actual fact, it's bedtime. The carol singing that was hosted by the entertainment team and indeed the captain and officers in the foyer was absolutely fabulous. There's something like 26 carols that we sang. The place was packed, was rammed. For me, even to get good video shots was well nigh almost impossible, but I've done the best I can. Do you know what? I'm going to play them for you. If I get a strike from YouTube, well, I'm just going to have to take it on the chin. Although the clips that I will show you will be very, very short, simply because what I'm trying to do is hoodwink YouTube. And by the time the computer goes, "What's that song?" I'm gone on to a different one. So who knows? We'll see what happens. Anyway, then this evening, Peter's show, again, a phenomenal show, and I've just put up a picture of that. Anyway, it's bedtime. Although the clocks have gone back, and I think the time that I have to set my phone to is somewhere in Bolivia to get the right time. And then tomorrow is the last day. So I'll see you in the morning. I'll chat to you in the morning, and we'll pick it up from there.
To you all, good evening everyone. Welcome to our famous carol singing session here in the Grand Lobby. Are you all in good voice? Yes. I'm sure you
Yonder peasant who is
morning to the very last day on board the Queen Mary 2. It's Sunday morning. I'm about to head to the Royal Court Theatre for church, and then there are 4 lectures today. I'm going to one of them, and then the thing that I really have to do today, of course, is get myself sorted for my last show. It's being performed in the Queen's Room later on tonight. So go on ahead, walk ahead. So I'll take you there for the sound check, because I've never ever done a video of the sound check down in the Queen's Room, because it's actually 2022 since I last performed down in there. And then of course I'll bring you to that show. The cast are performing in the Royal Court Theatre tonight. They're doing the early shows and I'm doing the last show on board. That's the plans for today. See you then. Well, I'm at the Queen's Room now, which is about a 5-minute walk from my cabin, and we'll sort out the sound. So this is, I'll show you the room. Well, you were here last night, but I'll show it anyway. So I'll be performing on the floor, and they promised that they will have the chairs facing to look at me. At the minute, it's obviously soul and Motown music. Right, I'll do the sound check.
That table is going to be up for water?
Don't need water.
Nothing, just
Nothing.
the microphone.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's going to be so easy for you.
It's okay.
I need nothing. I need nothing. 1, 2, 1, 2. ZYX, WV, UTS, RQP, ONM, LKJ, IHG, FEDCBA. You got me up there, Kate? Oh yeah, you're playing with me now. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, Samuel, Kings, Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi. Kish thinks he got there in the end. I'm not 100% sure. So I want to try the old trusty headset. He's a way to get a connector that I don't have. How are we getting on, Kish, up there? How do you feel about this all? Well, that ended up to be the longest sound check that I have ever done. It took me over half an hour. And the bit I didn't show you, we ended up back with a handheld. How will it go tonight? I have no idea. Time will tell. Well, suited and booted, I'm ready to go down and do my show in the Queen's Room. Will there be anybody there? I honestly don't know, or not anybody there, but many there, because this is the last night of the voyage. I've already seen suitcases packed and sitting outside cabins, so a lot of people have in their head, no, we're going home. There may be some that want to get up early in the morning, about 5 o'clock, to see the sailing into New York, and they're thinking, oh, we'll go to bed. So I just don't know, but I promise you this, those that are there, I'll do my best to entertain them. So let's go and see, is there anybody there? Well, I needn't have worried. Good crowd and a good night. See you tomorrow in New York. Do the edit. Well, as promised, I have been joined by Peter Howarth. We're both dressed up in our coats, not because it's cold on the ship, but we both have the same idea of going out for another walk around the deck, but at the moment it's wet outside and the decks are closed.
Closed.
So I have grabbed them when I've got some time. Now,
Got some creaking as well. That's old-fashioned galleon stuff right there.
you and I can hear that, but the microphone will cut that all out.
Creaking. It's creaking.
Now I'll have to switch it up so you don't make him out to be a liar. Anyway, Peter, you're on the ship here performing, one of my fellow guest entertainers. We have worked a number of times together. But I've never really sat down and talked to you. I know a little bit about your history. And obviously, when I was first told about you, it was by our ex-agent, Derek Royal, who said there's a great guy, he sings with the Hollies, lead singer of the Hollies, you love him, you love him.
Yeah.
How did that gig come about? How did you get, I was going to say roped into being the Hollies?
Oh, the Hollies.
Yeah.
The Hollies came about by, like, you know, in this business, a lot of the time it's who you know.
Very true.
Being in the right place at the right time. I think, first of all, being able to do the job. So I think that's pretty important that you can do it. But the opportunity came from a keyboard player that I worked with in 1988. And we worked for one night together in a gig in London. And I got a phone call, and this would be about 96, 97, 97. And it was, he said, this is Ian Parker, you don't remember me, but we did a gig together in 1988.
Just from that one gig?
From that one gig. And he said, I remember your voice. I worked with the Hollies. And he said, Alan Clark is retiring. He said, and I've put your name forward, and would you be interested in singing with the Hollies or being considered? And I said, unfortunately, I would. But unfortunately, at that time, I was doing Orbison for Bill Kenwright. And I was in the middle of a contract, and I wasn't going to just walk away from that, you know, because it's not what you do, is it?
Yeah, no.
You know, so I said, unfortunately, I can't do it. And if the gig ever comes up again, please remember me. So when the gig eventually did come round again, because Carl Wayne took over from Alan Clark, and when Carl Wayne unfortunately couldn't do it anymore, I was called and stepped in to do it. And that's how it came about, by knowing somebody. But then going down to do 3 songs. I met in London, I met with Bobby and Tony Hicks, Bobby Elliott and Tony Hicks. I met in a club in London, quite a select club just behind John Lewis. And we met in a small room. Yeah. He played guitar, I sang He Ain't Heavy, a Long Cool Woman and Air That I Breathe. And they said, right, you're on Friday. It was a kind of...
Just like that?
4 days and you're on, yeah.
And how long ago was that now?
2004, so 21 years ago.
21 years.
21 years, how quickly it goes.
And these people that are watching will already have seen a little tiny clip of you singing during your first show. Oh. But I had to make it very short because YouTube will slap me with because I don't have the copyright of the song.
Right,
but trust me, he has a fabulous voice. Now, you skipped over something very quickly there. When this guy first rang you, you were performing in the West End as...
Yes, as Roy Orbison. I know. I don't like to talk about it, but...
No, but you're going to talk about it.
That was, again, same kind of thing. That I got that gig by somebody, you know. I knew Bill Kenwright very well. I'd worked for him in different capacities as a guitarist in the orchestra pit. Then I wrote a musical for him.
Yeah, what's that about? I'm just going to jump in there. What was the musical that you wrote?
It was Robin, Prince of Sherwood.
Did you write that?
Robin, Prince of Sherwood, yeah. And that was on...
I'm with a celebrity, darling.
And we did a big UK tour. We started off in Leatherhead. We did 2 big UK tours, and then it was really successful, and they decided to bring it into the West End, and it didn't go so well in the West End because it was a very basic family show with very, very basic props. It wasn't really suited. It was a family show, a lot of pastiche humour, and at the time the West End was very serious with big sets. Yeah. It just wasn't a good fit, and unfortunately it kind of killed its story.
Yeah, but nobody can take away the fact that you wrote it and that it
I
did
wrote it
perform.
with my partner. I wrote it with a partner, and we had that experience of having something like that. It was quite an experience, and again, one I'll really cherish. But it was from that meeting, or me knowing Bill Kenwright,
that you got to play Orbison.
Yeah, I literally got a phone call, same kind of thing. Can you sing like Roy Orbison? No, but you can hit all the notes. Yes, come and see me. I went to see him. I went round to the Piccadilly Theatre. We looked at a couple of people who was auditioning, and he, after a few people that had auditioned, he just said to me, get up on the stage and sing Only the Lonely. I said, I don't know Only the Lonely. He said, learn it and sing it. So I sang Only the Lonely. He then put a script in my hand, and he said, can you do an American accent? I said, I don't know. He said, well, I'm your wife. This is the breakup scene. He said one line to me. I said one line back to him in the best American accent I could muster. And he said, right, you're on Saturday. Same kind of thing, really. That kind of happened.
I love it.
I didn't get, it was about 4 days. I had to, it took me about a week and a bit to learn the songs, learn the script, and be shoved on. You know, I was absolutely petrified, but it was one of
But
the...
it must have been fabulous to be performing that in the West End.
Honestly, at first it was terrifying. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I was absolutely terrified. When you step into something... I'd never acted.
Yeah, because you were a singer and now you had
Singer,
dialogue.
And I had dialogue, and thankfully the cast were great with me. The ones that were experienced actors, I asked them for help, and they gave me the help. And over time, I kind of grew into that part. I mean, I could take care of the singing, the acting, I wasn't sure, but I grew to love that as much as the singing. And over the period of a year, that's the best skill you could do. Go and do it every day, and then try and do it better and better. So I loved it. It was a privilege, and it was a cherished time of my life. That 2 years in the West End, 3 years on tour. So yeah, long time. It was great though.
Now, it's very fitting that we're standing in front of a Christmas tree because Cliff Richard, Mistletoe and Wine, you're on that
I'm on that single, yes.
because you also toured with Cliff Richard.
I did for many years.
This man,
Yeah.
he just walks out and goes, oh yeah, I'm going to sing a few songs from that. But you have a huge career. How long did you work with Cliff?
I started working for Cliff in 1987, through on and off to 2004. Even when I was doing Orbison, and even when I started doing the Hollies, if I could fit, Cliff phoned up and I said, he said, I'm doing a tour. If I could say, yeah, actually, I can do it, I'd still do work with Cliff. But on and off, doing when Orbison, I couldn't tour with Cliff, so I did Orbison. But I did go back to Cliff when Orbison wasn't.
So what other Cliff songs should I listen to see if I can hear you? Obviously Mistletoe and Wine.
Well, on the singles, I think Saviour's Day.
Yeah?
Saviour's Day. A few others. Healing Love, I think I was on.
Were you on that one that he did for the Millennium? That
Million Prayer? No,
Yeah, okay.
no. That was, I think, that was a lady who took care of all the backing vocals and on that. I did perform that on stage for Top of the Pops, but I don't think I was on the original recordings of that one. Yeah, but that was another period. But it's again the same thing. Who you know, how you get the gig. It's who you know, and bumping into people. And the real number one, as you know, it doesn't matter what you do and whatever situation you get asked to perform in, apart from being able to do your job, is be nice to people.
Be nice to
yeah,
it's
so,
always
because
important.
it's always a group of people, like the cast, you know, you've got to get, if the cast don't like it, it's going to make it awkward. With the Cliff Richard Band, when I went into the Cliff Richard Band, we were 4 new people into an environment that was very solid, and they've been touring together for a long time. But we all got on. And that's the most important thing, is getting on.
Now, standing behind the camera at the minute, of course, she refuses to come on,
Yes.
is your wife, Sarah, who, again, the show business there, because how did you meet?
We met with through Bill Kenwright. Sarah was dancing in Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. In 1982, I got a phone call from a friend of mine who was a guitarist in Blackpool, and it was a band from Blackpool that was touring around with the company, and my friend Andy wanted to leave, and he phoned me up and he said, look, can you just, I said, I don't want to do music. I didn't want to do musical at that time. I didn't fancy it, but he said, look, please just do this gig for me for 2 weeks and I'll find somebody else, and because I could read and everything. So he got me there. I went to do the job. It started off in Blackpool, and I think it was going to Birmingham, and I was going to do Blackpool, Birmingham, Buxton, I think it was. So I went to do the first week in Blackpool, and I saw this young lady on stage, and I thought I might stay a bit longer than 2 weeks. And then I stayed for a year, and we had a great time touring together. That's where me and my wife met on. It was Bill's show. That was one of his first big shows, along with Blood Brothers. It was another one.
Oh yeah, Blood Brothers is a huge one.
But at the time, you know, I think he was kind of new to the. Not that new. I'd heard of him by then, but he went on to become one of the biggest
huge.
Thousands and thousands of people.
And sadly, he passed away. In, how long? It's not that long. Is it
2 years ago?
2 years ago?
2 years time. It was 2023, which for me was heartbreaking, because he was one of those people. It was a titan in my life, really. And not only just the things that, obviously, meeting Sarah, doing the musical, and doing Orbison, 3 big things that. And funny enough, the first person, I don't even found out, when I did that audition for the Hollies, I went to see the Hollies in London. As soon as I got through the door of my house, I had a phone call from Bill, and he said, "You're in the Hollies." And I don't know how he knew. I have no idea to this day how he. I didn't forgot to ask him, but he must have known I was going for it, and he obviously knew. He must have a network of spies.
Of course.
Yeah, you know, but he was a big person in my life. I think you learn a lot from somebody like that. He's admirable. You know, he's a very loyal man and a very. He's quite a.
If he liked you and knew that you were capable, he hired you.
Oh, absolutely. You know, he would hire people. If they're, again, capable, but I think more important for him, you had to be the right kind of person. He didn't want a person in one of his shows that was a diva or a problem maker. He could smell that out, you know, and I think when it was watching him audition when we did the musical, he would, no matter how good the singer was, he would throw them a question like, if somebody sung a great song, he'd go, oh, you couldn't have sung a worse song for me. I hate that song. And he would wait for the reaction. If they got actually it won 5 awards on Broadway, you know, and you knew immediately the kind of character. If they went, oh, I'm really sorry, but I'll sing something else. Oh dear, what have I done? That kind of like a little test, I suppose. That was cute.
I love it.
Yeah, and because what he wanted is people that when they went on tour in the show, as I was Robin, it was like a big happy family, and that gets the best results. Even when we're on stage, the first important thing when we're here with the band and the crew, you want to create an atmosphere for them. Yeah. You don't want to be barking at the band saying, oh, you played that A flat, should have been an A flat there. Why are you doing that? You know, you just go encourage people to do the best they can in the short period you have.
Obviously, I don't work with a band, as you know, but when I go in to do my sound check, and they'll say, what do you want? I'll go, whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know, we're all in this together, and I think that's important. Absolutely. Another show, of course, is it The Front Men?
The Front Men, yes, that's another little thing that, again, happened. It's been, excuse me, cakes.
Yes,
yeah, another thing that came about, I started to do a few solo acoustic tours. I did one solo acoustic tour, actually, about 15 years ago. 15 years ago. And I was doing a little run on this, and it was just to satisfy my own desire to go on stage with the guitar on my own and sing and play. And a few people came, not thousands, but 50 to 100, blah, blah, blah. And I went to do a gig, it was in England, and a friend of mine said, oh, your mate was here, Mick Wilson, who sang with me in Cliff Richard band, and he said, your mate was here, and he was singing with 10cc, and he was doing his solo acoustic tour, and he said, you guys should, actually, if you got together, then you'd have the Hollies and 10cc to kind of draw the people. Yeah. And it seemed like a real idea. We thought it's not a bad idea. And then I think Mick spoke to a guy called Pete Lincoln, who was another chap that sang with us in the Cliff Richard band 30 years ago. And he was doing his solo acoustic stuff, but he was working with a band called Sweet. So the idea was to do one gig in the UK with the three of us. The
frontman from the Hollies, the frontman from the Sweet, and the frontman from 10cc. I love it.
Yeah, so just doing a few acoustic songs of the bands, and thought it might be an attractive proposition for people to come. We set it up, but unfortunately it didn't happen in the UK. The promoter couldn't get the venue, but Pete said, oh, I've got a manager in Germany who would be interested in doing this. And about a month later, he booked a gig in Krefeld, which we had about 80 people, and the next gig was in Berlin at the Passion Kirche, which was like a beautiful church, but it was taken on by quite a bigger promoter, and we had all of a sudden we had 300 people, and we only had one rehearsal the day before, and it was a bit horse's eyes. We don't know what we were doing, but I knew how to sing Bus Stop, Pete knew how to sing, and then we'd do a little bit of our own, maybe one of our own songs, and we did the show, and it went really well, and we've been doing it for 10 years. We've been doing it for 10 years, and we're doing a tour in January. When we get back.
Well, all I can say is if you're anywhere and you ever see that Peter Harth is performing, make it your mission to go and see him. And certainly if you're on ships, you'll have a fabulous time. Peter, it's been great to chat to you again.
Always love to see you.
And to get you in front of a Christmas tree.
Happy Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year.
And thank you to our fabulous camera woman.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you.
Listen up.
Well, welcome to New York. Welcome to downtown Manhattan. And it's the 22nd of December. And any time I'm here at this time of the year,
let's get across, man.
It'll not be Christmas unless I go to the tree and the ice rink at the Rockefeller Center. I'm here. It's time to show it to you. Well, I'm sure you'll agree there's no better place to end off the Transatlantic crossing on the Queen Mary 2 than here at the Rockefeller Center in New York. Now, if you have enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing. I'm making my way now shortly to JFK to fly home. I'll be home for Christmas, and then on the 27th, I fly off again to join my next ship. Join me then, and we'll maybe have a fireworks display somewhere in the Mediterranean.